Raven don't have a clue what they're doing, evidently. Warzone is dying, and they are why.
Warzone is fun. There is lots to do. The game looks and plays great. But you cannot play it because there's so many people cheating.
I've been running into people that have been butchering me with hipfire. I think that's one of the events that's really kind of driven me crazy tonight is 2 gunfights that I lost to hipfire. One of them, I was at the top of the stairs looking down at somebody. I had aim down sights first. I started shooting first. I broke their armor first. And you know what happened? They had an MP5 and they jumped like 3 or 4 times like a rabbit, hip firing only with the box this big, and hit me with 5 headshots in a row.
Beautiful anti-cheat that Raven Software and Activision are using to find these cheaters in Warzone have identified these accounts as hacking accounts when they aren't, and that's the beauty of it all. Their beautiful anti-cheat that they apparently are using are finding these accounts and banning them from their free game. It's absolutely amazing.
What? What? How did I lose that? What was that? What the fuck was that? What? Overhead.
Pacific Warzone or Warzone Pacific has been, perfect because it hasn't. There's been a lot of issues. The gameplay you guys are seeing, I actually dropped in to see what this was like. I was bugging out. I was like experiencing lag and skipping, and I really wasn't able to play at all.
So I melee the door and try to enter. The sentry gun on the armored royale. If you have that vision with your hands again, remember from the chopper gunner and the previous one, you know you have done the glitch already and you've done it correct. And also look down. If your legs are gone, you know you have done the invisibility glitch.
Raven, 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 where art thou? To the Call of Duty mines they were sentenced over a decade ago, not to have seen the light of creative freedom since 2010. I bite my thumb at Activision and Bobby Kotick, hoping to annoy them into giving the Raven of old a chance to spread thy wings. For a while now, Raven has been mired in controversy because of the lack of attention they've been giving to Call of Duty Warzone, a product that they've been stuck on for about 3 years now.
Warzone is really exciting for us because it's our first free-to-play platform.
You're a liar! You're a liar! You know something that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar!
And we wanted to break through and bring true innovation.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
We put a lot of work into it, and seeing the community's reaction to it keeps us driving forward.
Confess! Liar! Confess!
As unfortunate as it may be that Raven has been stuck working on Call of Duty for over a decade, it wasn't always like this. They used to make plenty of games that ranging from original games to licensed games, such as Star Wars, Star Trek, and even some Marvel games. And we're here to take a look at their last original game, Singularity. bowels of development hell comes Raven's last original game, Singularity. The game was originally in development for 2 years, however it was scrapped by Activision for being too powerful to run on 7th gen consoles. It even had a hard time running on high-end PCs back in 2009. When it was finally released, it drew criticism for being too much like other games, most noticeably Bioshock and Half-Life. For example, there were instances where you used your TMD's power to hold projectiles in midair and throw them back. There were also some audio logs that could be picked up. While I often joke to myself that this game should have been titled Similarity because of how similar it was to other games, the game as a whole does manage to differentiate itself enough to make it worth playing. As sad as it is that Raven has been stuck working only on Call of Duty for the past 12 years, there is still hope. Many former employees at Raven Software who have been let go recently formed a union. Also, with the recent purchase of Activision by Microsoft, Phil Spencer said that he would like to see Call of Duty take a break for a year and let Activision subsidiaries work on other games. Singularity was and still is a great game, even if it did borrow a lot of elements from other games that were popular at the time. At this point, I knew exactly what was going to happen next. A bald Russian guy with a deep gravelly voice was going to shoot my teammate, then, just as he is about to shoot me, something shoots at him from behind, distracting him, giving me enough time to escape or shoot him myself. Let's see if I'm right. There's Nikolai Demichev, voiced by Steve Bloom, the guy who voices everything.
You are Captain Renko, are you not? Don't be so surprised. Your name's right on your uniform. America's charming penchant for individuality. Now, I have some questions for you.
Name, rank, and serial number. That's all you get from us, Ivan. Check your Geneva Convention handbook.
I did away with that little inconvenience years ago. See?
We are officers in the United States military. I want to talk to someone in our embassy.
I think you'll find that impossible for a number of reasons.
Our embassy, right now!
That's better. How is it you haven't aged a day in 50 years?
How is it you haven't aged a day in 50 years? Seriously, the character models in this game,
TMD.
they don't look any older than they did 50 years in the past. Wow, I must be psychic. I mean, it's not like it happens in every video game ever. Oh wait, hold on a minute.
Come out! Throw down your weapon, and I'll let you leave. Don't do it, James. Don't listen to him.
Shut up!
Hold your fire, you'll kill all of us! You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Finish the job, James! Throw him to hell! 4, 3, 2. Too late.
You let your friend die. Now it's your turn. Not this time, American. You are gay. I should have killed you in Vorkuta. Got you now, you son of a bitch. You will die with me. What? You have been a thorn in my side for far too long. On your knees.
Hey, Zoran, we had a deal.
I do not suffer traitors.
Oh, right, so I suppose you know exactly how to find the stone then, won't be needing me. Thanks.
On your knees! What is this? Fire, you fools!
Run!
Go! Onto the bridge!
It does happen in every video game ever. It's a shame that the game borrowed so much from other titles and did a bad job of establishing its own identity. On top of this, the game was also rushed out in less than 7 months, which means that much of what was shown off in previous press conferences and E3 had to be scrapped or altered significantly. In the demo, it seems as though a character named Yuri would help you navigate the island, whereas in the final game, a character named Catherine seems to have replaced him as your guide.
The doctor is waiting for you in the power station, my friend. You'll be able to get there through that pit. Go on without me. He's angry with me. But then...
In the E3 demo, it is shown that the deadlock ability is tied to a sphere-like metal object that you can pick up with your TMD, and it will emit a deadlock when thrown. Whereas in the final build, the deadlock is an ability that is tied to your TMD.
So as they're patrolling, they run into some trouble with some of those creatures. The Zeks are running rampant on the island, and they're getting into a firefight with them. So as they jump down here, you'll see this is our deadlock, and this actually stops time within it. These bullets are stopping, so I can use it as cover. I can grab it and redeploy it, and it will cause it'll cause everything within it to freeze.
Yeah, I remember this in the E3 trailer. There are these balls you can pick up that you can shoot out, and they would create the deadlock. You would not just shoot it out of your arm, out of your TMD, like in the final product.
This one he calls deadlock. Its concept is simple. Slow the momentum of moving objects. You can stop enemies in their tracks. And render modern weapons useless. He who possesses the TMD possesses the power to change the world.
The game's story is nothing to write home about. It's a kooky sci-fi game with time manipulation. You follow around this old Russian guy who made the time manipulation device, which lets you all these cool, fun things. You can transform people into mutants. You can age people to dust. It's got a fun story. Nothing too serious, but hey, this is Raven we're talking about. There was also an online multiplayer mode, but unfortunately no one seems to be playing it anymore. It was fun, I remember playing it. I remember getting all the trophies. Something that's very commendable about Raven Software is how they've stood by their fans. Even before they were absorbed into the Call of Duty machine that we know them for now, they did a great job of supporting their fans. In the past few months, however, they've done an even better job standing by their fans and doing their best to communicate with them and be transparent with them. Such as when they admitted that they screwed up with their new addition to Warzone in the form of Warzone Pacific. Raven has occasionally dropped by live streams of Call of Duty Warzone to cheer on many of its players.
Raven Software randomly showed up to my stream. I was trying out the new Iron Trials mode whenever Raven randomly popped into my stream and told me to clutch up, no pressure. Raven Software said, let's see a W. No pressure. Hey, what are the stakes there, Raven Software? Because I mean, we're fully composed, you know what I'm saying? So during one of the coolest opportunities of my streaming career, chat absolutely let Raven have it about their game. Then Raven let me know if I won the game that they were going to tweet it out. So we had to lock it in. Let's go.
Good shit.
Find me. I got him. He's dead. Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go! Yeah. Like and follow for more.
Raven Software has done a great job standing by its community. In November of 2021, they credited a user for creating the Nomad control scheme in Call of Duty 4. The user, Nomad, spelled NOM4D, developed this control scheme back in 2007. However, Infinity Ward never credited them. Back in 2013, during the closure of LucasArts, Raven released the source code for two of its Star Wars games, Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, on SourceForge. Raven Software has been incredibly humble for the last couple of years, especially now that they have been put in charge of more prominent roles as a developer. They were interviewed by IGN and had this to say.
Now, 2010, you touched on Singularity a minute ago. So that was a game that was received pretty well critically. As I recall, it didn't seem to get like a huge marketing push, but it was after that you guys went into full Call of Duty mode for the next decade. Yeah. And now with, of course, Black Ops Cold War, you're back out in front and leading development on that campaign now. And again, I'm not saying anything negative about support work, but how have you guys kind of missed being back in the driver's seat? I'm sort of curious how, or I guess maybe to spin it a more optimistic way, is there like an increased, a palpable energy at the studio now that your name's going to be back on the front of the box as the lead developer?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the Singularity piece, we were working on Wolverine movies, Singularity, and Wolfenstein all at the same time, and they're all coming along quite well. But if you remember, the economy took a big dive. That's the big factor. And I think at the time, Activision had to choose, where the marketing would go, and we were a new title, and I think a good title, and I think it proved out in the reviews and so forth. Still get a lot of requests for Heretic, Hexen, and Singularity, and Soldier of Fortune are the ones we get the most for. But no, we worked with IW a lot back then. We knew them. They were good. We have good sister studios, and we thought, well, that's what again, we're around today because we adapt and we move. And I think that's our thing. We have a depth and breadth of talent. We can do console, PC, shooters, RPGs. We've got a lot of knowledge behind us. So for us, it was like, just, okay, this makes sense. The economy has changed the marketplace, so we got to change with it. And we were fortunate enough that we were able to, dive in with Treyarch on Black Ops that really helped them to begin their, cut our teeth on Call of Duty.
Even after 10 years, this game is still receiving much critical praise from people who remember the Raven of old. It is very well deserving of a sequel, and I can't think of anyone who's played it who doesn't like it.
So this game isn't even bad. It's on the better side of decent, even pretty good at times. But then like 2/3 of the Raven development teams were laid off and the rest were sent to the Call of Duty mines, and let me tell you, if you can take the disaster that this game was and turn the whole thing around in 10 months to make something as decently fun and playable as Singularity, you deserve better.
I would love to see a sequel for real. It could be legitimately fantastic. Think what like EA was doing with Titanfall 2. I mean, Activision, you need to fight back. Raven was winged by layoffs after this game as well, and Singularity ultimately failed. Raven's been stuck working on COD for like, what, 10 years now? I'd love to see them do something different. I mean, it's the 30th anniversary for the studio, and Raven were one of the best. I mean, Singularity 2 maybe? I mean, I doubt that will happen. But if you're a boomer gamer and you like old school shooters, play this on hard and just be tactical with it. That's what I would say. You know, buy ammo, use the AK, avoid the pistol, and you'll be golden, baby.
We're almost at the #1 hidden gem of last gen, but before we get there, allow us to do a recap. Number 10, Double Dragon Neon. Number 9, 3D Dot Game Heroes. Number 8, Mario Kart for Adults. Number 7, that Suda51 game you've never heard of. Number 6, Nier. Number 5, Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Number 4, Dead Space Extraction for the Wii. Number 3, Driver San Francisco. And number 2, Vanquish.
It's number 1.
In the most dominant genre, the FPS, it's really hard to innovate and stand out. And that is exactly the reason why Singularity takes our #1 spot. Time manipulation admittedly has been done before, but not quite like this. Equipped with a TMD, or time manipulation device, this glove-like awesomeness allows you to manipulate objects in the game world for puzzle solving by warping them back and forth into the future and past versions of themselves. But, more importantly, the TMD aids in combat. You can use it to make people age so fast they disintegrate, or throw up domes that put everything inside of it into slow motion. Fully upgradable, you could even use it like the gravity gun from Half-Life 2. What makes Singularity's time manipulation stand out is that it's used as a mechanic, not just a gimmick. We're sure naysayers would argue that the world and the characters weren't the most original, but we would counter-argue by showing them how freaking awesome the Seeker is. That's a gun that shoots player-controlled explosive bullets in slow motion, for you laymen's out there. No big deal.
Now fans who remember the Raven of old simply long for the day when the developer's originality can shine once more, especially since releases for inventive, story-driven first-person shooters have been few and far between in recent years. Should Raven ever receive an opportunity to spread its wings again, there's reason to believe it and the mysteries of Katorga 12 would be welcome with open arms.
I only hope that now that Activision has been bought out by Microsoft, and Microsoft doesn't want Call of Duty to come out every year, maybe, just maybe, we can get more original games. A fan can hope, Candy. A fan can hope.